Hello, my name is Karen Hughes, and I am the Domestic Violence Clinical Services Coordinator for the Life Crisis Center. And I want to welcome you to Life Crisis Today. Today, we're going to be talking with Jen Dale, and she is our sexual assault therapist.
Hi, Karen.
Welcome. And so sexual violence, wow, that's a big topic. Most people don't even want to think about it, let alone talk about it. Let's start with defining it. What is sexual violence?
Sexual violence is any unwanted or forced sexual contact. That could include sexual assault, rape, sexual harassment, exploitation, taking photos of private areas, inappropriate touching, anything along those lines, and many more other things as well.
Mm-hmm. How prevalent is it? I mean, it happens, but we don't think it's going to happen, or we think we don't know people that it happened to. But how prevalent is it?
In the United States, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will be victims of sexual violence at some point in their lifetimes.
Wow. So we really do know people who this has happened to.
Yes.
We need to figure out how to help folks prevent being victims. Teaching people. You know, if I had to talk to someone, talk to a friend, talk to a family member, children, we need to start with children. Let's start there. How would you talk to little ones about sexual violence or preventing it?
Yeah. We can start these conversations very early. Even with young children, we can talk about body safety and reinforce the message that their body is their own. And talk about, private parts of their body and what is and isn't appropriate and what is and isn't acceptable. And also sending a message that you are a safe person for them to talk to if anybody says or does anything that may be inappropriate to them.
And as they get older, they need more messages.
Yes.
We need to have more conversations. Let's look at the middle schoolers, because they're starting to think maybe they have a crush on somebody or something like that. What message for the middle schooler?
Middle schoolers have a lot going on. It's a good time to begin discussions about healthy relationships and what is and what isn't healthy in romantic relationships and friendships even, as well as continuing discussions as they grow and their bodies change about the changes that are happening and about what is and isn't okay.
And that they can say no.
Yes.
And
yes,
actually, that's every
absolutely.
age group.
Every age group.
Yeah.
That is very important. Yeah. No means no.
Yeah. And we can even move that into the high schooler and the young adult, or any adult, as to what messages, if you're really doing a teaching or really want to talk to that age group, what would you say to them?
I would continue to talk about healthy relationships and reinforcing that their body is theirs, and no means no. And you could begin talking about consent, and maybe what unhealthy relationships look like, or because a lot of times sexual violence occurs in intimate partner relationships or with acquaintances. So many times the perpetrator of violence is known to the victim.
What about the high school or middle school, or even not necessarily middle school, but the young adult when they're going out and they're out and socializing and maybe even drinking? Any prevention messages you want to be talking to them as to how to stay safe?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with college students, that's an important message to talk about the instances of drug-facilitated sexual assaults. Those rates are really high in men and women between the ages of 18 and 24. Having some discussions about what are some warning signs that you may have been a victim of a drug-facilitated sexual assault.
So having a buddy go with you, or checking in with a friend to make sure they know where you are.
Yeah. Or if you've had a drink or two and you feel so much more intoxicated than you should for the amount of alcohol that you may have consumed. You know, getting to safety, getting to somebody that may be able to help you if you feel that you've been drugged.
Or having a code with somebody.
Yeah, having a buddy system or a code with a friend.
So what if in any of these age groups, someone comes, like I'm thinking if somebody came to me and told me that they were touched inappropriately or they felt uncomfortable, that maybe it was something sexual, what do I need to do then?
The most important thing is to listen and to believe them. So many times false reports, people talk about false reports, but those statistics are really low. A lot of people
It's more that they're taking back the story rather than it being a false story.
Yeah. So really believing them and letting that person be heard, and then talking to them about safety. Is it still happening? Is it something that needs to stop? If they're under 18, or if it happened when they were under 18, it needs to be reported to a child advocacy center, and kind of helping them through that process, or just getting more information.
Right.
To move forward in that process.
Yeah. And okay, so that's the under 18. What if, so if it were under 18, if somebody came to me, I would be calling to report it. But if it's a friend who's over 18, and they say they may have been sexually assaulted, what can I do to help that friend?
Again, listening and believing them is crucial. When they share that with you, that's something very private and vulnerable that they're trusting you with.
Right.
But then helping them find some help and some support that they can get.
Right.
Through counseling services, maybe legal services if they feel that they need that. But
helping through the whole process.
Helping through the whole process,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. So when talking with everybody, whether it be the little ones or the older kids and the young adults, how to ask those questions? That's without being probing. I think that would be really important to be just very open-ended. How would you ask those questions?
You're exactly right. Very open-ended. What happened next? Tell me more. Different phrases like that can leave the answers open for them to tell you as much or as little as they're comfortable with at that time. And reinforcing the message that it's safe to share that information with you. And being upfront about whether you may have to report it or what that process might look like as well is important. Because many people that work with children are required by law to make mandated reports of any abuse that's disclosed to them. So letting them know that up front is also helpful.
Well, we may need to get some people to help you.
Yeah.
Or I'm really worried for you and I really want somebody to be able to help.
Absolutely.
Let's make sense of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are some great statements and great phrases to use.
You mentioned about getting help.
Yeah.
Talk about that. I know the Life Crisis Center offers a number of services. What about for sexual assault or sexual abuse for children? What help's available?
We have a number of services. And first, we have our 24-hour hotline. I usually encourage that first. If somebody's not sure if they're ready for the other services, they can get more information. They can talk to somebody. It could be anonymous if they would like it to be. But then if they'd like more help or more assistance, there's therapy available, both for children and adults that have been victims of sexual violence through the Life Crisis Center.
So there's child therapists and there's you as the adult therapist.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Anything online that people can get help through?
There are also chat programs online, and text and chat. We have text and chat capabilities as well.
Oh, the Life Crisis Center does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do they do for that?
That is actually through 211 Maryland. So they can get on the 211maryland.org website to access the chat links.
Okay.
And they can also text 898-211.
898-211.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And they do have to text their zip code
Oh.
to be routed because it's a nationwide program.
Okay, okay, wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of help for folks.
Yes.
So we need to start with having conversations with the kids when they're really young. As I know, a toddler, you say this is your nose and this is your mouth and things like that. But then moving into as they get a little older with their private parts and what is an okay touch and not okay touch, and how to talk. Being that you said that open person that they can come to.
Yeah.
Other messages of getting a little deeper as they get older. And what is a healthy relationship, and then being there if they do report it to you.
Yeah.
And that's hard to hear, but
It is. It is
to
really,
be there for them.
It is really hard to
Yeah.
hear. And the resources, especially through our hotline, are available if you're struggling with something that somebody shared with you as well. Because that is very hard to hear and listen to.
Right. So I want to thank you, Jen, for coming today and talking about a really difficult topic. And hopefully we've given a couple of pointers that if somebody wanted to talk to a dear one that's in their lives, that they can. And I want to thank you for joining us today. It was a hard topic, but we do need to talk about it with folks. And we do have resources at the Life Crisis Center. First, our hotline is 410-749-HELP. Again, the hotline number is 410-749-4357. And we also have our text and chat, and that number is 898-211. The Life Crisis Center provides therapy, so you can contact through the hotline to get that scheduled. They will route it to the right people, whether it be a child therapist or whether that be Jen for the adults. And I want to thank you. And if you need some help, give us a call or text us. Go to our website, www.lifecrisiscenter.org, and leave a message. We are here to help. Thank you.